Good evening, everyone. This is the January 9th, 2019 meeting of the Urban Conservation Commission. This meeting is being broadcast live and will be recorded for, hopefully for posterity, and available for future viewing at the town website, which is urbanguide.com. Before I begin tonight's meeting, I'm required by law to ask if either of you ladies is recording this meeting.
No.
Okay, thank you. I'd like a firm answer. So there being, with the answer in the negative, the first item on tonight's agenda is the 710 public hearing. Margaret McDermott, a request for determination for the construction of a single-family dwelling at 138 Rochdale Street. You can't come up yet, though.
You have to wait till
You have
to wait till
7:10.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Sorry, we were not trying to trick you.
I know.
Sorry.
So,
Because I just moved everything over.
so because we
And
want
that's
to be
what time
really
is
efficient with our time, why don't we try to do some meeting minutes?
We have to sure. All right, where's my,
Looking at the 10th of October, someone
change it out? That
October
sounds
10th.
perfect.
Great.
We're not going to do September 26th because I didn't
And
have it
actually, we
correctly.
cannot do the meeting minutes for October 10th
Oh,
because
so is that
Allison
it?
was our third, and so let's turn our attention
All right.
to, this is going to be really
This
short,
one, you weren't there, Ken.
October 24th.
It's all right.
That's all right, we can do that.
I was not here on the 10th either.
That's right.
That's correct.
But you are,
That's the only one
we're
I
all
missed
set for
this
the 24th, we can do those.
I was here.
Where's your gold star, Carolyn? Wait a minute, I might have one in
Put
here.
on my
Hold on,
forehead,
let me,
please.
let me.
Do I have a little crown kind of like?
I'll look for that for you.
It's fine, it's fine.
Oh, okay, well, no one told me that. Oh, that would be nice if I was told that. I'm surprised they didn't.
Yeah, they should be in there, the meeting minutes.
No, she said, she texted you, she emailed me and said,
Mr. Gorrich, is that correctly spelled? I don't know that gentleman's name. On the first page, 1390 Mr.
sorry
Drive.
about it.
We're going to go with that.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I
Okay.
believe so.
No.
Okay,
no,
I usually
don't
check the
like her
spelling.
that. She's nice, but sometimes she doesn't tell me stuff. Yeah. That I really should know. I know. Wait.
For 720 Williams Herian, it says, and it starts with my name, I was unable to chair this hearing as there would be a conflict of interest. I would change that just to say that
Where is this now? I'm sorry. what-
Second page.
it's on the second page, the 720 public hearing.
Okay,
And I, instead of saying was unable, I would just say that Michael Garland excused himself due to a conflict of interest.
That's why I speak to Lippert.
Yeah, 780.
Yes. Oh, okay. Not ready to leave that with that.
okay.
I thought you were saying the delivery was pushed back. It was. To that date. February, March. I'm confused. So the house is. Okay, I thought you said that, and then you said it's going to be January. I know it's one of those 2 days, in the beginning of March, it's all like what they put.
And then on page 3, where it talks 498 Rochdale Street,
Yeah?
where it says the commission has no idea what is happening with the remediation plan. Okay? I wouldn't put it that way. Okay? The commission has not received any updates regarding the mediation plan.
Because somebody must have said that.
Yeah,
Somebody.
yeah, somebody, probably
Okay,
you,
commission has not received.
has not
any
received,
up-
has not received an update
No idea.
regarding the mediation plan. You know, we have to read this for this reason.
Yes.
Definitely.
I like to put words in your mouth.
You know, God, you scare me sometimes. Okay. And aside from those changes, I have no other changes.
No, I just question that's correct spelling with gentleman's name. You have that in the front.
Yes, I'm sure I checked
Okay,
that.
thank you.
Okay,
Yep.
so is there a motion?
I make a motion to accept the minutes, the corrected minutes of the meeting of October 24th, 2018.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
One abstention.
One abstention. Okay.
I'll be ready 18 for
I had to go back and do some things last year, and I
What
was
did you say,
doing...
Mike, that somebody could not do? Well, I just know 2 of them, yeah, that's right, okay. I got it.
Yeah, we don't have enough work for them.
Okay, yep.
Since we still have minutes left. Wait a minute left.
Yes?
Have we heard anything back from,
DEP?
yeah.
Good now. As a matter of fact, I was going to send her an email today, and I don't have an
wondering.
email address for her particularly, but I will call her
Okay.
on Monday.
Because I'm sure that lady's gonna be like, what is going
Yeah,
on?
oh, she has emailed me, I've responded.
When was that sent to DEP? And we're talking specifically about 498 Rochdale Street, Joe
Yeah.
Goodman. Was that early December?
I think it was November.
I think it was,
Was it
yeah,
November?
it might be, I think.
I think it started in October and it went into November.
Okay.
Well, I sent it November 27th.
Okay, so it's been a month.
Yeah.
You have to allow for
The
Christmas and
12th,
New
was
Year's,
it?
but now hopefully she's attained to business. What's her name?
Megan Selby, Selby.
Okay.
Yeah, I had it on November 7th, usually.
All right, I can also try to give her a call. And you sent it by certified mail, right?
Yes, I did,
And you
return
got
receipt.
and you got the return
Yeah,
receipt.
Yes, I did.
Who signed for it? Probably not her.
That's weird, nobody signed for it.
Is that right? That is weird.
It was stamped that they received it on the 28th, but there was no signature.
Okay, all right. And she has not contacted us, right?
No.
All right, so yeah, let's give her a shout out.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you want to, or you want me to? I just didn't think we both should.
If you think you'll have time to do it tomorrow,
I
yes.
won't be here tomorrow, I've got the day off.
Well, then I'll do it.
Another day.
Don't volunteer and then,
I know.
Well, I meant Monday.
this is like Monty Python?
So they have the whole weekend? Cool.
Yes.
Okay. Can discuss plans later.
Sorry,
It's fine.
I'm just cheering her on.
You're just very chatty. It's okay. Sorry. Sorry.
7:07.
We're almost there. 7:08, I got 7:08.
The longest 10 minutes, isn't
Abra.
it?
Well, you know, when you're waiting, yes, it is, and I apologize.
No, you don't need to apologize. I know the routine.
Oh, you
I was
do?
just in a hurry. I know the routine.
I think you were here before us.
I imagine there are other commissions that aren't nearly as efficient as we are.
No, they're not as efficient as you are,
That was the right answer.
but they have to play by the rules just like you.
Well, you know, actually we do. We joke a lot, but we're pretty serious about this.
I think that's right.
And Sheila, no one called to say they were not coming, right?
Nope.
Usually our
The
gallery
only
is,
one I got a call
Yes, I
from was
realized that, and I was looking at
I'm
that.
just looking at that too.
Yeah,
Jay Dubois was having a conference in another town to be here. So I don't know, but John Johnson, I think he himself is coming,
okay.
7:45.
I'm not even sure why Provost is on
Right.
on our agenda, to be honest with you, because I thought we didn't close public hearing on that? We did the site visit.
Did?
We did the site visit. I remember, I think it was in October because it was raining that day, heavily.
I've got it continued.
Yeah, I've got it continued also.
Okay.
I've got it continued.
By Glenn? Or Mr. Kowalski?
Continue from the
Just
12th.
It says
says
continued,
continued
yeah.
here.
All right, well,
Have it
whatever.
continued from
We'll see
November
if he-
7th.
We'll see if he shows up.
Yeah.
November 7th continuation, right?
He's got to go to planning board too.
Who does?
Site plan approval.
Who does? Glenn?
Marshall.
Marshall.
Oh, maybe that's
Yeah,
why.
He was on here November 7th.
All right.
Because they moved the road or something like that, didn't they
The
move the road?
entrance.
The entrance,
Mhm.
that's
To
what I
the
meant.
property.
7:09.
I have 7:10. All right, so the first item on our agenda is 7:10 public hearing. Margaret McDermott requested determination for the construction of a single-family dwelling at 138 Rochdale Street. Is there a motion open?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed to vote. Good evening.
Good evening, how are you?
I'm well, how are you?
Does everybody have a copy of the plan?
Yes.
We do. Did you have a chance to go out and look on site?
We went on site, we actually met Ms. McDermott's daughter, who showed us the chicken coop
Yep.
and the property, and yeah, it was fine. We saw where the stream was, and we saw where the proposed location was for the house, and everything seemed to be in order.
Okay, and you saw where the hay bale line is gonna be, or not the hay bale, the straw water line?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Is everything good?
Yeah.
Is it-
Well,
We should vote
for
on
me
it.
it's good, but I mean, there are other commission members that
Yeah,
that may
no.
want to weigh
I
in.
did go by, I did go by. No one was there when I was
So, but yeah, I mean, when we went out there, everything appeared to be in order,
You guys went.
so.
Did you, when's the cellar gonna be dug or the foundation?
As soon as I get approval from you guys and a building permit, yeah.
When
You
you
got your application in, right?
Excuse me?
Don't you have your application?
Application is in already, so
I
I'm
think
just
it's
waiting for
allowed.
This?
approval, yes.
Okay.
Okay. And obviously, there's no one in the audience to comment, so if there are no other questions or comments, is there a motion to close?
Motion to close the public hearing?
Is there a second?
Second.
Any
Sorry,
discussion?
I'm beating you, Carolyn.
You are?
It's not a contest. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed to vote. All right, well, thank you very much.
You're issuing a negative determination, correct?
Maybe.
Maybe.
You don't tell us, and then you don't tell us?
Stay and listen if you want.
We've got like 2 minutes.
Well, since you asked so politely,
Yeah.
is there a motion?
I'll make a motion that we issue a negative determination for 138 Rochdale Street.
Okay, is there a second?
Second that.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? It's a vote.
Thank you very much, guys.
Excuse me.
Thank you.
I won't be typing that up until Monday,
Okay,
okay?
thank you.
Did you want me to send it to you, or who? Who would get it?
You can send it to me.
The original?
Yeah.
I don't even know
Okay.
where this all from.
Alrighty.
Have a good night.
Thank you, everyone.
Say hello to Lou for me.
I will.
Oh, he's on this end though.
Carol's
This house is like right on
his
before the wall.
closest back. She wants what,
Good night,
138?
Margaret.
Good night, thank you.
Paul
You're welcome.
Frost's
Good
house
night.
is like 308.
It was so funny because we were like looking and we thought it was in the swamp.
Yeah, we're like, wait a minute.
Lola brought us to the swamp the first time.
At this side?
It was,
Oh.
it was, you know how like the GPS brings you to the wrong place the
Oh.
first time?
Oh, okay.
yeah.
It was the wrong place.
What do they want to do with this? We pulled into that little bit, and Mother goes, you know, you drive in, relax.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta have you sign that
I've been
form.
there many
Yeah,
times.
I'm thinking of it.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. What do they wanna do with this?
It looks like Thomas.
Almost,
I'm
yeah.
impressed.
Yeah.
It was an accident, I assure you.
I was trying to call somebody else because I could not make out your signature. I didn't think it was
Who was
you.
it?
That
But
was
it's
somebody
actually,
else.
it's actually,
Town.
the T is there. Usually, you never see the T.
You're right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
another Yanaki Road update for next to Corner Lodge on 146. We'll see if,
Is that the left or the right there?
the little house. right there on the side. No, that one I already did. The one in between, Corner
Okay.
Lodge, that little house right to the south of Corner Lodge.
Yeah, granted,
They just call
granted.
The next item on our agenda is the 7:15 public hearing. A&R Realty Trust, a notice of intent for the construction of a retail building with parking at 872 Southbridge Street. Is there a motion open?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
opposed, it's a vote. And no one's here for that.
No,
Who's the,
could you check,
Do
we know what the-
contact? HS&T.
do we know what they plan to do with that?
you okay, Glenn?
No, something in my throat. Sorry about that.
That's all right. Well, you know what? Since they're not here, let's defer action on that. Okay, we have to wait now another 5 minutes before we can call the next public hearing.
Did they,
Did anyone call?
no, Tom said a granite, so they want.
Can be a
to-
granite company,
Granite
yeah.
company, what were
Yeah.
they doing
Yeah,
to do with that, a
granite
granite company?
But we can't
Yeah.
talk about it
Okay.
because we haven't called
Okay.
the hearing to order.
Okay,
Because
so
they're
we're
not here.
just going to,
No, I didn't hear anything on that.
The other
Can you
bummer is
continue?
it's just.
Trying to think, they are going to planning.
Well,
The next one.
Mm-hmm. We're good.
so we're just going to postpone to next.
Have we haven't gotten notice yet for the annual meeting, have we, of the MCCC?
No.
Okay. It's usually, I know it's always the first weekend in March at Holy Cross.
It's
Yeah.
the last weekend of February. It's always over my birthday.
It's not my birthday.
I beg to
It was always,
differ.
yeah, it was always
Oh,
March.
no, it's
It was always
March.
first
It's always
Saturday in
Either
March.
February 22nd.
Unless it was,
No, I think it's
it
March
could have been
2nd.
different one year, but
March 2nd.
Oh,
Yeah, one year it was on my birthday.
No, 1 year was on mine. So there
Was
you
it?
go. But mine's like a Wednesday this year, so
Huh.
it'll be your birthday.
No, it's usually the first weekend of March.
Yeah.
But I would imagine they'll get notices out pretty soon, right?
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
imagine so. I'll certainly forward it as soon as I
I'm sure
receive
you
it.
will.
Call Michelle Gerard right now if you want.
It's okay. Let's give Michelle a break.
I don't.
Keep us in.
She'll probably have dinner right now.
now.
I don't think she'd like the phone call. Okay.
Okay.
Brandon Fanning used to be,
This is just
he
people.
was Sutton. He was on the board.
So,
I forgot the Sutton
Oh,
agent, board of directors of ACC.
Yeah. So Glenn, you're here tonight for COSA, I know that. And Marshall?
Please.
And Macedon.
Okay, that's right, yes. And the last two are Jay DuBois, so I said I think Mr. Johnson's coming in
Okay.
on his own behalf,
And
and
we don't know about
I don't know what,
Scribner, huh?
right.
Okay. Well, we will wait and see.
Yeah,
what did you say about Marshall? Did he say?
he's
You're
Marshall.
Marshall. Okay, okay.
two more
So
minutes.
what did we do? We did open the public hearing for 872. So are we just going to continue that on to
Well,
the-
then, you know, we don't, they have to make a presentation, or they have to at least show up.
No, but I meant tonight, should we continue till?
We'll wait and see if
later in
they
the
show
meeting?
up. If he
Yeah.
doesn't show up, then
Okay.
we'll continue it.
All right,
You know, and then maybe we send them a letter usually saying, oh, by the way, you're supposed to be here last night or
yeah.
January
What's
9th.
happening with
And what I wouldn't do is I wouldn't automatically continue it to the next meeting. I think I mean, don't get me wrong, mistakes happen, you know, schedules don't, items aren't always diaried, but I think the burden should be on them to pick up the phone or at least make arrangements to get on our agenda, you
So
know.
by not continuing it, would they need to refile?
No, we can continue it generally.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, we're not going to automatically kick it over. We'll talk about it.
yeah,
Okay. I mean, and also, and I told Carolyn this, I'm going to be, and Tom, I'm going to be away for the next meeting.
okay,
So Tom will need to chair that. So I mean, if they want to, you know, if we decide to continue it to the 23rd, so be it. But I'm just saying we don't know what their intent is, you know?
yeah.
Right.
So it'd be nice to get feedback. And having spoken for the 2 minutes, the next item on our agenda is the 7:20 public hearing. Walter Koza, notice of intent for the construction of a single-family dwelling at 4143 Stone Street. Is there a motion open?
So be.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's a vote. Okay. Mr. Kravitsky?
Thank you, Conservation Commission, for hearing us. I wasn't at the site inspection. I'm not sure if there's any questions from that inspection or...
Not
might
about the
have gone-
inspection.
Not about the site?
Not about the inspection, but
Yes.
I was just curious because an A&R plan was approved, but nothing has been recorded with the Registry of Deeds.
No,
And
it
so-
hasn't been approved.
No, it
It
hasn't.
has not been
Hasn't
approved.
submitted.
Oh.
Can I go?
Please.
Thank you. I did talk to the client again. Because it was some bank-owned property, registered land, never mind,
It was
which is
registered land.
different.
Yeah, I looked it up.
I talked to them 2 days ago. They're still working on that. They just
Okay.
have to work it out. So we'll be asking for a continuance soon as, but if we hear anything relative to the site inspection, we'd like to answer that.
Okay.
But then, right after that, please, a continuance until they straighten out, just for one more meeting. They feel that they'll be ready for the next one.
No, I mean,
with
when
the registry.
we went out there, the channel is clearly defined.
Yes, sir.
So, I mean, it was actually an easy site
Yes.
to assess.
Yeah, it was.
But I think the interesting part, if I could, if I don't know who was there, is that it was channelized. Not that far in the past. It might have been within the last 20 years, or 20 years ago. So you don't see it often, that
No,
you
you're right.
see that channelization and casting, and did drain it a little bit. And that's about all I've seen it mosquito control do that. I'm in Shrewsbury with some of that. We're up in Tewksbury. So that was all. It was, somebody had done that work, and we see drained wetlands, and it does affect that hydrology at the upper reach of the wetland boundary. The plant started to transition a little bit more upland, was moving down slope, because it had been probably at least 20 years ago. I mean, that's all. I just want to make a change in hydrology had occurred at the site, that's all.
Okay. So you're requesting continuance to
Please.
the 23rd?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Here you go, Glenn.
Thank you.
Sheila, what time?
If you bring the agenda, it'll probably be 7:15.
Okay.
I think I'll put that down on the 23rd.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Is there a motion?
Make a motion that we continue the notice of intent for Walter Koza, 4143 Stone Street, until
January
January
23rd.
23rd at 7:15.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's a vote.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you, Glenn.
Thank you very much.
Sir, can we help you?
Yes, I'm here about 707 South Oxford Street. I'm the
Well, that's not
landowner.
till 7:45.
You have some time to wait. And unfortunately, the next public hearing is not till 7:35. So,
Tick tock, tick tock.
don't do that.
Can I give suggestions to Sheila on what you should do this weekend?
No. No, this is, you can do that.
I'm really bored.
I'm really sorry. You know, can you do a song and dance? I mean,
No, I don't want to see that out.
wait, okay? So,
Can the public ask a question?
sure.
Thank you. The solar farm that was off of Rochdale Street that was brought up, it might have been in front of you again, I raised that question about stormwater in close proximity to Chapin Brook, which it's called Chapin, must be called Chapin Brook in Auburn too, but in Leicester it is. And
Right.
it is on the co-water fishery list. It took a big hit this summer with the rain events, and I lost a lot of spawning trout up there, but it is still a trout fishery. And their engineers called me, LEC, sent an email over asking for any precedent-setting cases that I might be referring to as far as near. The term near under stormwater, so if you dump your water directly into a cold water fishery, then you have to treat it as a critical area and treat 1 inch in 24. And that was the brief discussion I had. But also, right in that same clause, it says, or near. And so that term, and it is near, it's so subjective, what is near? And so they were wondering, we just had an adjudicatory hearing January of 18 on the motocross track in Charlton, if you might have read about it, that big thing that was going on. So the point is, the opponents had brought up Trout Brook and McKinstry Brook, or trout in McKinstry Brook, which is recognized as a cold water fishery. And the judge did hear testimony of this headwater brook coming in from the motocross area as far away as 2,500 linear feet from the last reported sightings of trout over on Route 20. That's the only reason why I said near, because Lee McLaughlin, who used to be the fishery biologist for Fish and Wildlife, he retired maybe 10 years ago when Richard Hartley took over, but he also brought up near on one that goes into Wellington Brook, which is just over the line here. Actually, the drainage starts in Auburn and drains towards the French River. But that had an unnamed tributary from the Mountain Service Station area coming in, and they took jurisdiction. Fish and Wildlife said, no, that's near, this we're going to call it stormwater, and that was only about 700 feet away. So the point being is that it is subjective, and if you felt that if this was a trout brook and these two trout brooks come together and they were in the drainage of one that's not identified, hadn't been electroshocked yet, is that, because that's what they do, electroshock, if you're familiar with their procedure in identifying whether it's a cold water fishery. Are you?
No.
Okay, so I brought them out to probably 10 of them so far that I put on the cold water fishery list, and Chapin was one of them, where I've identified these headwater streams that somebody told me, or I was out at them in the last 25 years. In fact, Spencer just put a letter into Fish and Wildlife on my behalf. I'll send it over to Sheila, because we have another one going in Sutton. But the point is when they electroshock, they'll either have a battery on a backpack with electronic gear attached to it, and it puts a jolt into the water. The man will be walking with waders, with rubber gloves, and a positive and negative electrode, and they can turn it down so the conductivity isn't too high. If the water is high with minerals, then you have to turn it down because it saps too much. Or they'll do a gas-driven one. They even have those. And it shocks the water, and they have two guys on either side. It only shocks the fish for about 15 to 20 seconds, very briefly. And in that way, they can assess what's living in your river or your stream. So they walk down it, and the fish just come up briefly, two guys on either side catching the fish, put them in a bucket, then they'll do a 400-foot section or a 800-foot section, go back, because they'll do it like a riffle pool section, and then they'll go back to a bucket and a measuring thing, and they'll take the temperature and pH also of the water. So they do a whole, it's a biological assessment is what they call it. But technically, we always refer to it as electroshocking, because that's the initial way you get your fish. So if there's 5 type of fish in there, 4 type of fish, if a trout normally grows 6 inches in 1 year and the trout are reduced in size, and they can take a scale sample, they do too, and they can identify the age of the fish, then they can know if there's enough food in there to assess whether or not they want to stock it or put more stocking. Or if the fish are large, Wellington Brook was, back in '87, the growth rate was 1.5 times normal. There's so much food coming out of Martin Brothers Pig Farm. Nutrient. It's a good brook.
We understand.
It's a good brook for nutrient, and clear, but a lot of nutrient. And anyway, so that's the management. So we did this biological assessment on Chapin, and that's how we proved that there was brook trout in there. And now if you go to Oliver, they now have a place on Oliver where when you're looking at the different things you can key in on floodplains, DEP, wetlands, there's actually cold water fisheries in there now. So if you look at your town, you're going to see that brook comes all the way down as a cold water fishery.
Okay.
And that's just the point, that it is a cold water fishery, and it is subjective as to how close. If, and this is the case where I testify expert witness on that January case, if there's a pond in between, this is why I'm a little bit concerned over there. If there's 2 brooks coming in, this one is identified as a cold water fishery, then the likelihood that the trout are utilizing this other brook, there is a likelihood. If it was a lake right there, or a warm water body of water, they're not going to go into it. So the point about the Charlton case, there was all these big swamps flooded by beavers. There was no water. The water quality had been diminished so much that there were no trout up there, and it was too hot in the summer. Water coming off the top of a dam just in general is 82 degrees in the summer at the height. So if you get 90 degrees, you're going to see 82. We have temperature probes on them. 72 is upper lethal, and that's why you won't find trout below them. That being said, I just wanted to kind of give that to you, that the commission, if they were dumping water into that brook, you might, if you chose to consult DEP on it, I'm sure you could have them treat it at 1 inch in 24 hours instead of a ½ inch in 24 hours. That's the difference between a critical area. So a drinking water supply, beach, or cold water fishery all fall in the critical area under stormwater, and that's what increases that from a ½ inch in 24 hours treatment of your impervious to 1 inch and 24. In that one, and not only that, which I just sent to Whalen only 2 days ago with another trout brook I'm working on, they also have to ensure that the water temperature that they discharge, I'll send you this too, 401 water quality does not allow for discharges coming off of your roadways, subdivision, 40Bs, whatever, into a cold water fishery. You cannot increase the temperature dumping in from your basins more than 3 degrees Fahrenheit than what the brook temperature is that it's going into. Most people are not aware of that clause. I sent it, McGregor just received that 2 days ago
How
from
would
me,
you
because
ever
I'm working
regulate
on...
that?
Huh?
How would you ever regulate the
Easily,
temperature?
what we did over, how? Look, we did, this is Leslie, but on Lincoln Plaza, when we did Lincoln Plaza in '95 to preserve that coal mine brook trout fishery, you have a series of pools, and you shade those pools. So it is more costly to cool off water before you dump it. But the consequence is, and as David Thoreau had said, which we were just reading this week, the brook trout is like the canary in a mine. If you have high water quality, and in this town, I know, Chief, that one brook you have over there, I'm not sure if you have one more trout brook in this town, maybe 2 if you're lucky, but we have so few trout fisheries on the eastern coastal plain. Oxford only has 2. And I'm working on both of those to ensure they stay intact, because it only takes one more building, one more roadway, and in South Oxford, we just lost the spawning population on an unnamed trip behind Zion Church, which I'm working on now with the conservation and Fish and Wildlife. But we lost the spawners in there this summer because of all those heavy rain events actually dumped so much hot water coming in during those storm events that it actually did go above. And now we have hobos, these electronic temperature probes. You put them in the brook, you leave them there if you want, depending on what you set them for. This one that I have in there, it reads every 10 minutes for 2 years. In the water, and then when you pull it out, it interfaces with your computer, and it'll give me a graph. We're actually showing the graph at the office on what it will look like just from the office temperatures changing. So that's why I was
That
concerned.
brick on Leicester Street that we looked at, behind that house, that wanted to put in that septic tank,
It's on the agenda for tonight.
Yes.
that's on the agenda?
Yeah, that's
Because
Chapin.
that is
That's
Chapin,
town,
right?
Yes,
Yeah.
that is
Yeah, yep.
that. I won't take it.
Well, no, it's okay. We have a couple
Yeah,
more
I
minutes.
just wanted to make sure that that
I'm
was what I
curious,
was
so-
thinking of.
So if I call DEP,
Okay.
would they confirm or not be able to tell me if there are trout fisheries in Auburn?
Oh yeah, 100%. Fish and Wildlife will tell you.
Okay.
DEP will have it on their list, and the Oliver will show that thick dark blue line, not the same dark blue line that you see for perennial stream.
Uh-huh.
It will show it's distinct. You'll have to look at obviously the key, and you can send it there. Why don't I even have the electroshocking data from Fish and Wildlife.
Okay, that's
So I'll
probably more than I need, but
Yeah.
it would be helpful to
Oh.
know.
Then decide.
Well, I'm glad I talked to you, because we'll get you probably 3 or 4 pieces of information relative to that, just so you can make a determination. If they're so far up that other tributary, maybe it's not an issue.
Right.
I only brought it up because I don't know exactly what the proximity is to that junction of the 2 brooks.
Sure, I appreciate that. So, Sheila, we can't do the meeting minutes for September 26th because...
Because I haven't corrected them yet.
Oh,
Allison was going to send me some corrections, and I just haven't had time, and
all right, that's fine. That's fine.
so...
I know I have
We
it.
still have a couple minutes.
Okay. Didn't think I had it, have it?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
There were a lot of gaps tonight.
Yeah, I don't really know why, but it's okay.
Just keep it really showing.
We have just one more minute.
I think what I did is I just carried all the hearings over to the same time if there wasn't a change on them.
I know some commissions, they schedule everything at like 7 o'clock, you know?
Yeah, then you don't have to, yeah,
But I think that is an inconvenience to the applicants too,
Yeah.
you know?
yeah.
I mean, if you're 6th on the agenda and everything's scheduled at 7, they don't get reached till 8 o'clock, I think that's kind of rude.
I think we were doing it every 10 minutes.
I think we did every 15 minutes and then we
Yeah,
reduced it. So,
yeah.
You're good.
That's another one where...
try to be efficient.
10 minutes is good. 10 minutes is good.
Yeah.
15 minutes wasn't tough.
When you're really dealing with small populations, all it takes a good heat plug and you can talk. I had 2 filling fish schools in West I've got the state and never seen a filling fish school.
Okay, I have 7:35.
All right.
The next item on the agenda is the 7:35 public hearing from Marshall Provost, a notice of intent for the construction of a single-family dwelling, septic system, well and roof runoff filtration system at 0 South Street. Is there a motion open?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, to vote. Mr. Grabowski.
Thank you, Mr. Garland. We also have Zachary Gless, the engineer and surveying company for the project. And Zachary can tell you that what occurred at the ZBA, because that was what we were waiting for.
Right.
Thank you, Zach. Mr.
Yep.
Gless.
Again, my name is Zachary Gless. I'm from Existing Grade. We had the ZBA meeting a couple weeks ago. I requested a variance to be able to access this lot from the sidewalk, not have the legal 50 feet frontage, and that was granted. To be able to come in the side of the lot as we're proposing here.
Right.
The only condition that came up is that they would prefer this to go to site plan review, so that will be coming up next.
Okay. So does that mean we're gonna continue, Glenn?
An agenda, the minutes.
I mean,
According to Mr. Gless, different towns would rather,
What do you want, the minutes?
site plan review would like to see conservation approval. We're satisfied under the 34 feet that we now have the variance. The site plan review was because of the proximity to the railroad tracks. Mr. Gless and I have talked, and I know I mentioned to her, then he came up with a better idea yesterday than I had. I was going to take pictures of these different close access points in Oxford. There's tractor-trailer terminals coming in right next to tracks.
Right.
But he's going to put together an exhibit over there, flyover, showing each place where these intersections come close together. We, Mr. Glass, what did you feel that some of the towns would rather see? I'm sorry if I could
I
ask.
mean, I don't know how it works in Auburn. I mean, I know some certain towns would like to have conservation approval before you can get planning board approval. And it's, I don't know if there's a preference one way or the other, but I do know that the majority of the work that we're going to be doing for the site plan for the house and the septic, that's all outside of the buffer zones here. And the only real impact is just the driveway coming in that is not going to change.
Right. Okay. How long do you think site plan approval will take?
To be honest, I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm hoping we can get in and out one meeting because it's just a single.
Couple more weeks, right?
Are you scheduled, or are
They're
you
on the
coming
next
up?
meeting, the 22nd, I think you're
Yeah,
scheduled for.
right before us.
Okay. I mean, I agree with you. I think it's a separate issue, considering that the house is located so far from the entrance and the driveway. So, I mean, we've been out there, we've had, had a chance to obviously inspect it, and aside from that one issue, I mean, I'm speaking only for myself, I'm satisfied to close the hearing tonight. So if that's what your client wants, then we can certainly take that.
We would ask for that if the commission is so inclined.
Okay. So is there a motion?
Make a motion, we close the public hearing?
Okay.
I'll second that.
Is there any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? It's a vote.
Thank you for your time on this matter and the site inspection,
Thank you.
the lengthy project. We will supply more information with the board once we file with rare species, that additional documentation just for your file.
Very good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
You are. 2 more minutes for that one.
This was way too
Is this the one you're talking about?
Yes.
It's a little late.
Okay,
Oh, no, yeah.
okay. Getting confused, okay?
Very good.
Yeah.
This is Marshall.
Imagine that. His nephew. Unreal.
So
Oh, that was the guy from the town, Spencer. Okay. Yeah, I get it. So just leave it now, we just... It being 7:40, the next item on tonight's agenda is the 7:40 public hearing for Massett Family LLC. Notice of intent for the construction of a parking lot with underground infiltration and above-ground forebay with detention pond at 24, 28, and 30 Faith Avenue in Auburn. Is there a motion open?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed to vote. Good evening.
Good evening. Yeah, my name is Zachary Gless. I'm from Existing Grade. I'm the design engineer for the site.
Okay.
Do you mind if I just grab my plans on the table? It'll be a little easier. So I believe the last time you guys had a meeting on this site, we're still waiting on planning board approval, and we just had our planning board meeting last night, and we did get an approval on it. The only changes that were made from the last time this plan was before you was on our outlet pipe. As we're going down the old abandoned, well, to-be abandoned section of Faith Avenue, we have one crossing. We're going to be going underneath an existing drain line, and the planning board wanted to see us put flowable fill in there just for settling purposes. Excuse me. So there's that. And then the only other thing that came up at the meeting that we had to deal with was where we have a proposed crosswalk. It was just some concerns over the illuminated pedestrian crossing signs, and we cleared that up last night. And
Okay,
beyond that, it's the same plan that has been before you previously.
understood. Nothing affecting conservation.
That's correct.
Okay. Questions? Any
The
questions
filling
from the audience?
Is it filled right, is it being filled right now? Was it being filled, put in? Any fill putting in, has there been any fill put in that area? Yeah.
In the lot
In
itself.
the lot, yeah.
There,
I did go by there the other day.
yes,
yeah.
let's say that there has been stockpiling material by Simon Senior, who was doing the contracting of that site. We had, Bill Coyle, what did Mr. Coyle, if I could ask? Mr. Coyle had you, and we discussed making sure that there was no sediment going into the catch basin at the road, and that the low area up here was accessible for water to come into, and use that as a settling area while the roadway was under construction. And yes, there has been fill up in the back. We put another hay bale line in the front so that material wouldn't get to the front. I've had them sweep that front asphalt area, and we've had them clean out the silt sack in that catch basin on numerous times. And yes, it was just an RDA to remove the buildings, and we told them, the last time this was brought up, maybe a month and a half ago, that there'd be no more fill on that site until we get the actual notice of intent.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. All right. No questions from the audience?
Order conditions.
Yes, that's all right. I know what you meant. If there are no questions from the audience, is there a motion to close?
Make a motion to close the hearing?
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, it's a vote.
All right, well, thank you
Thank you
again for
very
your
much.
time, and I appreciate it, and I will get you information tomorrow. Thank you,
Okay.
thank you,
I
Cheryl.
won't be until Monday, but
Well,
that's okay.
I'll get it over.
Okay.
All right, thanks again.
Thank you.
Have a great evening.
You too.
Thank you, Zach.
Thank you.
Time.
Must be done.
We lost a great engineer, I have to say, moment. That's what it's all about over there now. That's Jim Malley, the Board of Health agent for 8 towns.
yes,
We've
I
known him
heard that.
forever.
Is that
He
right?
was in front of you, in
Yeah.
fact. I don't know if you knew
Yeah.
that. That's what's happening at Wallace right now.
Oh, really?
It
Oh,
was sad.
When did
I
that
went
just
over there earlier
happen?
at 4,
Yes.
because we all know, I know him since the
I'm
80s.
sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sure.
Jim Malley. Yeah, come on. Oh, my God.
Thank you
Another
again,
round.
until we meet.
Good night, thank you.
Thank you very much.
The next item on our agenda is a 7:45 public hearing. Johnny Johnson, notice of intent for new construction of a single-family home at 707 Oxford Street South. Is there a motion open?
So moved.
Is there
I'll
a s-
second.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed to vote. Mr. Johnson?
How you doing? Jeremy from DC Engineering. This is the owner, Mr. Johnson.
Okay. Anything for Jason?
Yeah, he has a couple Spencer conservation.
Okay, very good.
He didn't mention that.
Mind if I say a word? I've owned this land since the 70s, okay, and I've pretty much taken care of it. Back when the Title V first came around, we put a state-approved and town-approved Title V septic system in, and a well. And I was kind of saving it for my retirement, to sell the land or build something, whatever I was going to do. And I never realized that there was a timetable that it only lasted for so many years. And in the last few years, I've had numerous realtors sell the lot, and then I had like 6 different people that were going to buy the lot. And all of a sudden, they came to the town hall and they said that it wasn't a buildable lot. So I wasted a lot of time and a lot of different people. And, you know, I've got like $30,000 of my own pocket money into the engineers, septic, the whole bit.
Well, sir, we're not the planning board. We're the Conservation Commission.
Okay.
So whether it was a buildable lot or not, that is not something or determination that this board makes. Our jurisdiction is clearly defined by the Wetlands Protection Act, by the Rivers Act, and also now by our own bylaws and regulations. And so I can't speak to the time and effort and expense you've put into this. When Mr. Du Bois came to see us, he presented a plan from 1993, and the reality is that over the course of 25 years, wetland lines can and typically do change. And so, again, only speaking to the issues with the Conservation Commission, that's why we have requested that the site be, that the wetlands be reflagged, and so I think I feel comfortable in having made that decision. And to the extent that anyone has told you that your lot was not buildable, that was not someone from this commission.
Well, nobody from this commission, but every time someone came to the, to the town hall to inquire about the lot, they were going to buy it. They were told by somebody that it was not buildable.
It wasn't me, sir.
So I'm just trying to get, I just kind of would like to get some, some clarity as just what's, whether I should keep pursuing it or not,
Well,
That's all I'm asking.
I mean, again, to the extent that, that's really beyond our purview and our jurisdiction. Our jurisdiction is the Wetlands Act to make sure that the property, if there's a wetlands issue, that measures are taken to protect erosion control, or to implement erosion control to prevent siltation into wetlands and waterways. And so that's why you're here tonight. Okay? So anyway, why don't you proceed?
Okay, so I guess last time you guys saw the old plan shed, we sent Ecotech out, and they flagged the wetlands.
Right.
And we proceeded to go locate the wetlands and survey the property. So what we have in front of you today is, I think you guys have a copy of the plan, correct?
Yes.
We do.
It's basically, the best what we could fit was with the front zoning setback, we could only fit, we went with a 24-foot house, and then we're only 20 foot away from the actual wetland line from the house.
So you're going to need a waiver.
Yes, because you have the 25-foot no disturb. So that's really what the issue that we're presenting here today is.
Sure.
If we can do that or not, or...
Have you walked the property?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I see. I went out there.
I think when Jason came before us, and I'll be honest with you, I haven't been out there, but I understand that from other members that it was tough going.
Oh, yeah, it's
You know.
definitely, it's a lot of brush and stuff. And
So I don't know because it's winter if it's actually an easier site to walk.
sure,
through.
now it is. I know we were out there when it was still vegetated.
Okay, so I would like to definitely have the opportunity to do that, and I'd like to, if I can't speak for other members of the commission, but I'd like to do it this weekend. And you don't have to be there. It's a vacant lot, as long as the property Mr. Johnson isn't posted with no trespassing signs.
I'd be happy to meet you there and show you that. I mean,
Okay.
I always have owned it for
Right, I understand.
40 years.
So shall we say, I mean, I don't know if anyone else is
I'm
available.
available Saturday.
Yeah, so how about 9 o'clock on Saturday?
Perfect.
Okay? And what we can do is we'll get I want to get a feel for the property. I want to just see where the wetland has been demarcated, and then, with your permission, we'll continue the public hearing to our next meeting, which is January 23rd. And then we can close the public hearing and we'll make a decision, if that's agreeable to you.
Yeah, that's fine, just,
Okay. So Sheila, what time would that be?
23, 10.
I can't go this Saturday, but I
Well,
will try and stop by
1:20,
there.
I'm sorry, 7:20.
You all set from that by yourself?
I've been
Yeah,
by
I'm
it.
fine.
Jay's snowmobiling around,
Bye.
it's a
Yeah,
basketball game.
no, that's,
I have a client
Okay.
coming in at 9:30, so.
Yeah, you need to see.
Yeah, I know.
I'd like to get some resolution one way or the other.
No,
so I know it's been
it's the
going
way
on
to
for so
start,
long.
and you should get some dialogue started here.
It's tough to.
Excuse me.
That's an excellent.
It's really a nice piece of land. It really is.
Let me just sign that.
You're the owner, you must sign.
Okay, so is there a motion?
I make a motion that we postpone the notice of intent hearing for property located at 707 Oxford Street to 1/23/2019 at 7:20, pending site visit.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed to vote. Okay, so we will see you at 9 o'clock on
9
Saturday.
o'clock Saturday morning.
Okay, so the weather's supposed to be good, so no excuses there.
Good and cold.
It'll be
Cold, yeah.
That's
That's all right.
That's January.
That's fine,
And
yeah.
where the septic and the well
Yeah,
and
we have an
the house is
plan like
deed,
that. I
there's
was
really
like,
no,
I don't
it's all
think we
clear.
had any full-size
Been like that for
houses.
years, because
You know what, it's gonna
every
end up
time
getting
over the years
revised
with
with
bushes,
grading.
we always in the summer
Yeah.
cleared all the bushes to get the
Oh,
septic.
okay.
Unless you want it for the
When was the
sidewalk.
last time you did a deep hole test? Do you remember?
A couple of years ago, Marshall Provost did well, he did a septic review with his septic.
Okay.
That's him too.
Okay.
So it's been, I think, 3 years since he did
And
it.
have you submitted a design to the Board of Health for your septic system, or are you going to let the buyer do that? I presume you're
Well, I
selling the
have
property?
the septic system is completely installed.
Oh, it
Yeah,
is.
It's got a septic and well, and it passed the
The
Title
whole
V.
thing's been done years ago.
Right, I understand that. And
It
it's
just
still
sat there and
still up to
never
muster.
did nothing.
Understood. Okay, very good.
Yeah. Everything but a house,
Everything but a house.
unfortunately.
He's
Yeah, I
gonna take
didn't-
the
I didn't
plan, the
realize
big
what
size,
it-
full-size plan, is that okay?
Sure.
Yeah, if you wanna
And
bring
bring
that
it
to
the
the
Yeah,
night
that's
of the
fine.
meeting.
We got the other.
This side.
Yeah, that's fine. And then are you also here for the 7:50 hearing? Okay. So thank you, Mr. Johnson. We'll see you Saturday.
Thank you.
Guys, have a good night.
Thank you, you
Thank you.
too.
Appreciate the time. The next item on our agenda is 7:50 public hearing for Scribner Development Notice of Intent for construction to replace an existing failed septic system at 411 Leicester Street. Is there a motion open?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed to vote? Good evening.
How are we doing? This is, I guess, another one that we discussed at a previous meeting.
Yes. And, did you see Leonard Engineering's peer review?
Yep.
And so, what say you?
Basically say, I mean, there's kind of two criteria we kind of have kind of hurting us here. Is you got our existing well and then the neighbor's well.
Right.
In Title V, you want a 100-foot buffer to be able to put in a septic system, so.
Well, and you got Chapin Brook right behind it.
And then you got the brook right behind it. I guess really what our thought was that the people's, drinking water would probably be a little bit more of a concern and protectable versus the brook. I understand the brook is still, obviously you want to protect it.
Yep.
So,
That's our job.
I mean, we're trying to, either that or if we move the system, I just don't see the point of honestly moving the system. If we move it 10, 20 feet forward, we're still going to be within jurisdiction of conservation. We're still going to be pretty close in proximity to that brook.
What about a
But
tank?
we're also going to be
I was
less
just
than,
gonna- I was just gonna
What
ask
about a
that.
tight tank?
I don't know if that DEP will actually allow a tight tank.
Why is that?
Because they
Since
can
when?
fit a septic in. You can actually physically put a septic in.
No, you can't without being within the 25 feet though, right?
No, they're
Yeah,
only
you need,
25.
either you need a local
25.
upgrade approval from
Yeah.
Board of Health no matter what we do.
Yeah.
It's either from the wells or the 50-foot.
Now,
From the
did you
brook.
submit a plan to the Board of Health?
No, no.
Okay.
We need to figure out which way we want to go with it first.
So, I'm just thinking in terms of, you know what the concerns are. I mean, and this is not my expertise, but it seems to me a tight tank might be the best solution. I imagine it's more expensive, correct?
Well, it'd be way cheaper to install, but then you got to pump it
Right.
depending on what you have there for a family. My family would be every week for Christ's sakes, but
Okay. But I'm just saying, you know, it's I mean, I think you're right. You're caught between a rock and a hard place. You got the neighbor's well, and then you got Chapin, and
Yep.
and
now, is there any offset that we could keep from Chapin that would allow, maybe say, okay, we can do a septic system that would
I don't know.
satisfy?
I don't know. I mean, I'm going by what Leonard said, and like I said, I don't know what the option is. To be honest with you.
Because I'm in agreement with you, that's what I came here thinking. Like a tight tank, I thought would be.
You know,
A tight.
my suggestion, and I mean, if you haven't talked to the Board of Health, so they haven't seen this plan then, right?
He did talk to Darlene about it.
Yeah.
And she didn't seem to think it was a problem to the brook, but that could change too, so.
Okay. All right.
I mean, I know we've done them, you know, that's a brook though, on lakes and stuff where it's old lake lots and we've done them within, 25, 30 feet of the lake, but.
The lake finally, I mean, that brook
That's
finally
not-
came back.
Hmm?
That Chapin brook finally just came back though, it's finally just starting
Yeah.
to get better.
Okay, yeah, see, I'm not familiar with the history on the brook or,
Cheap and rookie,
so.
let's discuss it. It's a trope, it's a trope.
So, I basically, here to figure out
Well, right.
That's
So
tight tank and that's it. and
Well, I'm not-
That's
look.
what we're,
we're not dictating what you should do.
Right.
But again, we're mindful of what Leonard's comments are. I think maybe you have a conversation with the Board of Health, and maybe you do maybe you do an assessment concerning the installation of a tight tank.
yeah, I mean, I know we could do, like they're saying, a reduction in the system. There's
I mean,
also,
the house that's there. I mean, I don't know if the homeowner is going to tear it down and put in a new structure. I mean, it's an A-frame. It looks like it's in pretty tough condition, at least on the outside.
I didn't like walking around that place.
I wasn't like that.
We went up there. There was all kinds of trash and
Yeah,
debris
yeah,
there.
it's-
You know.
Yeah, it was,
I mean, it's a nice piece of property.
yeah, it'd be nice to clean it all up and,
You know. But I mean, again, all I can tell you is those are our concerns.
yeah, I mean, I know they do, maybe you could reduce the size of the system
Mhm.
with a different kind of septic tank. Tanks are expensive, but it's also, the water comes out like pretty clear, so
Right.
it reduces the size of the system 50%, I believe, so. But I still don't know what we would end up getting for a setback. That's what I'm trying to get, is there any kind of numbers, 50 feet, like 75 feet, anything, any kind of distance?
I mean, to be honest, I'd like it at least 100 feet away from the brook, and I don't think you
100.
can do it. I don't think the law will allow that.
Yeah, either that, or then you have to ask for a 50-foot.
From their drinking water.
Yeah,
Because otherwise they're gonna be,
which, I know if I was a neighbor, I
I
wouldn't
wouldn't
like
want
that.
that where my drinking water.
So,
So I mean, we'll give you as much time
But
as
some
you
of the,
need.
actually, some of those, that brook, I mean, that brook runs in, I mean, some of those wells on that waterfront, that runs into their wells. You know, so that's the other thing. So it's not just this well. That brook will carry some of that water into other people's wells that are around the lake.
yeah.
So if it fails, it's gonna fail bad to not just this person.
You know, it's not. We don't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. This we're thinking problems not 5 years from now or 10
No,
years
I
from now,
agree, and
but
I
20
don't
years from
know
now.
if a tight tank is even better of a solution, because if that doesn't get pumped, now you got
No.
just
Well-
pure sewage, not just effluent that's been going
And
through
that's-
sand and the filtration.
There's no public sewer in Leicester Street at that.
No, I'm just saying, yeah, if, you
Bench.
know, they don't pump their tight tank, that's 1,500 gallons, that goes
But there's no public sewer in
No.
Leicester Street there? Where's the nearest sewer
No,
line?
this is up past that, like real narrow
Near the
ridge
bench.
there, yeah.
Right.
Past, so it'd be going up.
Yeah, I'd say it's at least a couple thousand feet, I think, 'cause I don't
Okay.
think there's any yet that where the, you know, the railroad bridge crosses there.
It's way up, yeah.
Yeah, it's up past that, so,
Yes, it is.
Yep.
Okay.
but, I mean, I don't know, that's my only thing, is a tight tank, yeah, it's better, it's less of an impact, but if that doesn't get pumped, that's raw sewage coming out, now that's flowing versus effluent going into, you know, the ground, which is supposed to be cleaning it, which,
Right.
you know, but.
Unfortunately, it's near the brook.
No, yeah, it's it is, it's not an easy situation at all.
Eventually, it's gonna, you know, I think it's gonna, there's obviously a concern it's gonna leach into the brook, and we can't allow that.
All right, well, we'll
think
see,
there's
I'll
some
see if
type
we
of
can
a-
get 100 and we can do 50, or maybe we can do 50 from our own well, I know, I don't know.
Yeah, so I guess my suggestion would be maybe try to rework the plan.
Yeah, maybe if we can get 75, maybe that's a little
Yeah,
better or something,
75
we'll see what we can get,
would
I
be
mean.
better.
How many bedrooms are you looking at there?
What do we got here? 3 bedroom,
3?
yeah.
Yeah.
3 what?
Now, see,
Are they
so,
knocking down the house?
I don't think so, I really don't know. We just got hired to do the septic, so I mean, not that I know of, if they do, they should have let us know, especially if they're.
I think-
well, yeah, you would tend to think that if they were constructing a new home.
Yeah, you would want to just show that and get that all approved with you guys and everything else too, so I'm
They
assuming
have
they'll leave.
less
And
bedrooms, they
actually,
could
if
have
you
a
think
smaller
about it, if they
system.
were constructing a new house, they could alter the footprint and they could pull the septic
Correct.
further
Yep, they
away
could.
from both the well and also the stream.
Yeah, actually, you could, yeah,
Better idea.
yeah, you could flip-flop
Flip
it a
it.
little better, yeah.
So,
All right, so,
so what do you want us to do? Would you like us to continue the hearing?
yeah, I think that's probably the best thing to do. We just kind of wanted some guidance and
Sure.
feedback of where to go with this.
Absolutely. And what are you thinking, maybe February?
Yeah, I'll talk to Jay, he's the engineer.
All right, so let's say the first meeting in February. When is that?
What are we doing?
I think that's the 11th.
13th.
The 13th?
Yep.
Okay. All right, and, okay. So is there a motion?
Move that we continue 411 Leicester Street until February 13th at 7 a.m.? 7 p.m.?
Yes.
I'll second that.
You'll be the only one here.
No.
Yeah, right.
Okay, is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, oppose the vote. All right. Thanks for coming in, appreciate it.
Have a good night.
Yeah, if they made it like 2 bedrooms, wouldn't they then make it a smaller?
Yeah,
I-
it would
I
be,
can't
but
even
then
see
you
what
need,
the
you need
whole
a
site
deed
is.
restriction too, and then the selling factor of a 2-bedroom, a 4-bedroom
Yeah.
could mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
So you don't think the owner intends to live there? You think they're gonna flip it?
I don't think
You don't
so,
know?
yeah, no. I would assume it's a flip house.
Okay, all right. Well,
Maybe it's not, I don't, maybe, you know.
you know what, the story with flipped houses, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
Well, you don't. You get where you buy, and warrants and all, so.
yeah, it's tough, so. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you for coming in, Jeremy.
Good night.
All right, you too.
Have a good night.
Is there any other business?
No, 34 Mill Street, anything interesting in that?
No, Darlene and,
Have they been out?
Have
they have been.
And?
And I don't think they were greeted too happily.
Too
and
warmly?
That was the last I heard of it,
I'm shocked.
so I don't know what's happening.
All right, okay, maybe we can send them an email.
Okay.
If there's no other business, is there a motion to adjourn?
Are we issuing orders of conditions tonight or no?
Yes, we are. Thank you.
It's not.
I'm
I
so
wrote a
sorry.
note over here for two
I'm
of
so-
them.
I'm so sorry, you're
Two,
absolutely
it's
right.
approved.
Yep,
Okay.
would have been nice.
For
We have to do for both Marshall Provost and also for Massett.
Okay.
Matt, that's
Thank
right.
you. Yeah,
So thank you for reminding
We
me.
said those.
thank you.
Tom's right on task.
Right on task. No, because I wrote notes over here.
Well, Denny
Order
just
conditions
passed away.
number 1 and number 2. There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
When?
A few days ago, Duddy passed away.
See, I don't get
Yeah.
the telegram.
You didn't? Yeah, I didn't find out till
How
last
old?
Sunday, a week ago, 90.
90 years old. Mhm.
Yeah.
So his son David has been running the business for a while.
For a few
anyway.
years, yeah, yeah.
For several years.
Okay.
Quite a piece of work in the auto mile down there.
So, for Marshall Provost,
Okay, oh, here we go.
Tom's got his out.
I got
Tom's
mine.
got
I'll do Marshall, and one of the other members can do the other one. How's that?
Okay, well, we'll see.
Carolyn.
All right.
Okay, so anyway, is there a motion to issue an order of conditions for 0 South Street?
Making,
I make a motion that we issue the order of conditions for South Street.
Yeah.
So now
standard order.
Standard order and Tom.
And
See how she did that?
one,
Tom.
Like that?
So subtle.
ready,
Tom.
1,
Okay.
2, 3.
Yep.
There's no replication.
There's no replication. 5,
There's no riprap.
nope, 8,
Mm-hmm.
9, 11, 13,
Okay,
and that's it.
all right.
Okay, it's good.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion?
Good.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed to vote?
Oops, I just wrote on the wrong corner.
What does he have to do from this point on
What do you mean?
to get that, to work on that property now?
Which property?
The 0 South Street.
I think he
Wait.
needs site plan approval
Okay.
because of the entrance's proximity to the railroad tracks. But it's a planning issue, it's not a Concom issue.
No, we're all done, right.
Plus, I think he did get the approval from zoning board.
He did get
But the issue with planning is that on a hammerhead lot, which is what he's saying it is a 50-foot requirement entrance. And he's wanting to use the 34 rather than the 50 that he has.
Oh,
So,
that's what's holding it, kind of.
yeah, I mean,
It's
when you
all-
go through zoning board, you automatically automatically puts you into the planning board for site plan approval.
I mean, it's a very long driveway. Yeah, I wouldn't want to have to shovel
Yeah.
that or plow that in the winter, but it's not my concern. With respect to Massett family for Faith Avenue, is there a motion?
Make a motion that Tom,
No, that's not, we don't make motions like
all
that.
right, we'll do the standard order of conditions,
Plus,
plus,
yes.
plus. 1,
Yeah.
2,
Mm-hmm.
3,
Yep. 4.
5. 4 is, okay, 4,
Mhm.
5.
Um,
No.
Probably 6.
Well, 6 would
This
go.
is replication, yeah.
Oh, there is replication, okay.
Yep.
6, okay. Number should be 8,
Yep.
9,
Mm-hmm.
11,
Yep.
12, and
13.
13. So,
Okay.
all right, good.
Okay.
Thanks, Tom.
Is
Are we
there,
doing snow removal on that one?
yeah,
Do they have to
Yeah.
remove snow from the
Yeah.
site?
They cannot store snow within.
Okay, all right, perfect.
There's no storage within the
Okay.
100-foot buffer zone.
Perfect.
Okay. So is there a second?
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed to vote?
There you go.
Finally, that one's done.
Finally, Miss.
Some of these off the agenda, so many
And
news
Tom
are
was
just
telling you
carrying
that
on.
Besides nephew, did you say
Yeah.
nephew passed away the week before that or
Oh,
something?
really?
Yeah, I
On
didn't-
on Wednesday, the day of the funeral.
Oh,
Oh, I didn't know
Terrible,
that.
39 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
what was the cause of
that's
death?
always a bad indicator.
Probable drug overdose,
Yeah,
is what I understand.
He had a lot of
That's
good
too
things with
bad.
his money. A lot of good things with his money. He gave to UMass. He was a favorite.
Yeah, he was a tough businessman.
Yeah, wasn't
When Norm Peters was a good friend of ours. And he and Norm Peters did a lot of things together along with Ingrid. And
he? He has pilot's license too.
Yep.
Frank Blaine.
They were just,
Oh, yeah.
It's because they were
Self-made,
smart.
very
They hit
smart.
it well. It did. Okay. If there is no other new business, or old business for that matter, is there a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion, we adjourn the meeting?
Second. Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, close the vote. All right, everyone, thank you very much.
Thank you.